We're now learning Area 51, America's capital city for UFO sightings, and the stuff of Hollywood science fiction is apparently real.
Joe, the number of people who say they're interested just keeps growing.
Just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any more bizarre.
Oh my gosh.
The Pentagon declassifying 3 videos of what they're calling unexplained aerial phenomena.
Hey Reuben, how are you? Thank you so much for making some time for this.
Hey Wieteke, glad to be here as always. Good to be talking to you.
So we thought we would connect to announce to all of you guys watching this video right now really awesome news about a new platform that I created with a few friends from Norway that will help starseeds worldwide to find each other. And these are quite remarkable times, I'm sure that you will all agree on, quite remarkable times on our planet today. And even though it may seem as if we are all separated in a more extreme way than we could have ever imagined, maybe even, I feel, and a lot of other people with me feel, that this is a really amazing time for bringing new ideas to the world that actually help create a fundament for more connection. And if there's one field on the earth that I can think of that really craves more connection, then it's the field of the starseeds. Everybody who feels they're curious about UFOs or want to know more about ETs or have had in their own personal experience ET contact in whatever way, shape or form. What I've been hearing so often throughout the years that I've been working as a channeler from people is this very deep desire to have other people, like-minded people, to explore with, to talk about these subjects with. And so I created a platform which is for free, and it's basically a starseed version of Google Maps that allows people to literally put themselves on the map and get the conversation going, because it is going. Even though the virus is really taking a lot of our attention away from this subject, disclosure is unfolding as we speak. The Pentagon has been announcing, in their own way, that they acknowledge the existence of UFOs, or at least some of them. And that has been really exciting. Reuben, maybe you want to share some things about that as well, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely, we're in exciting times in many arenas. But the Pentagon news, it's kind of old news in a sense because these videos have been out there. But having the Pentagon's official stamp of officiality, or whatever you want to call it, it seems to just solidify more in the reality that the ETs are real. They are visiting us, or higher intelligences, or unidentified USAPs, right? Unidentified aerial phenomenon, a UAP. All these different names they're giving it. So. This reality is becoming more and more solidified in our collective consciousness, and
right.
The more it happens, the more these official statements can happen. Then we can have the conversation, and I think that's the most important affirmation from the Pentagon. Like I said, it's old news, but because the Pentagon is having that conversation, so are other news media outlets from around the world. And the first data drop in 2017 with Tom DeLonge and To the Stars Academy was sort of the first drop of these videos and this talk. But it's now, between then and now, there's been a lot of conversations like, is it real, is it not real, what's the Pentagon stance, how come they're not fully going on this, and that's great that we're having the conversation, and I've always said it's a positive thing, even though there may be not so positive agendas behind some of these drops. Just the fact that we're having the conversation is a positive thing, and the more it can get out there into the ethers, and the more we can connect with the idea, then it opens us up to having the conversation and to the development of your website of Starseed. Then we can just continue with that and go deeper and go further, and not feel the ridicule and not feel the shame and not feel isolated, but feel more connected.
Exactly, yeah, and that's precisely the point of this platform, which has been a dream of mine since I started doing this work. And I've just spoken to so many people out there who feel really lonely in their genuine interest to share their, experiences and curiosities, like just pure curiosity about it. And our society appears to have been so brainwashed into the idea that this is a non-topic. It's immediately being shamed. It's like being laughed at. It's always, it's swiped off the table just like that, as if we're not even allowed to think
more
about
so.
That.
I think more so in Europe than in the States. We've got a little bit more liberty to voice our opinions here in the States and not get laughed at about it. But I think especially for you guys over there in Europe, this is going to be a. Well, I say the shaming aspect and having the conversation is not something you guys have been able to have as much as we've had over here. Yeah,
I don't even really know why there is that big a difference, but there is. You're right. So it's very located in Europe for some reason. This whole you can't talk about it. Whereas, for instance,
in Asia too, I would say
Asia
reflects a lot of the European mindsets on this topic.
Well, it depends on where you are in Asia, because in India it's actually very open-minded. I've had amazing conversations with people on the street about ETs, and they were like, yeah, of course, which was really awesome. I know that people in Russia are also very open-minded, all the way up into their governmental structures even. Apparently they have a minister on their parliament who has no problem at all saying that he's been on board of a ship even in his experience. And this is in their politics. He just, randomly mentions that. They'll talk about UFOs. And of course, your own citizens' hearing is a really good example for people who are still skeptic, right?
Yeah. Yes, and that's finally going to see the light soon. When I say the light's going to get more of a bigger distribution than it has gotten, because we're now ready to have the conversation, and some of these other distribution companies are seeing that the people are ready to have the conversation, so they're stepping up to the plate to do that. So a lot of the times in this field, it's sort of like the chicken. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? And it's a balancing act between the two to see. You can't say definitely which is first, but it really has to be sort of a simultaneous effort on both sides. But ultimately, I think in any situation, whether it's the UFO subject or anything, when the people make their stance, when the people voice their opinions, then governments have no other direction to go. They may try to steer the narrative a specific direction, but it's really up to us individually and then collectively to say, okay, we're ready to have this conversation, and then the governments of the world will read the energy, so to say, and then take proper steps to release a Pentagon file here or there, or to make the announcements, and then that fuels the conversation even more. So what you're doing with Starseed is I think it's beautiful, and to continue this ongoing conversation and connect people in this way is something special.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm super curious to see how the map will look in a few months from now. So we've been working on it for quite a bit of time, and funnily enough, it just finished. We just rounded it off. It's ready for launch right now. It's all functional. You can make a free account. We're definitely intending to keep this thing a free platform. And so the idea is that there is a page that shows the map of the world, all the continents, everything is on there, and everybody can make a free profile, everybody who feels inspired to do so, obviously. And in this profile, you will be asked to share an estimate location of where you're at. I can understand if you're not entirely comfortable, writing your address and house number right in there. But if you are, more power to you, obviously. The idea is really that we give ourselves an opportunity to literally put ourselves on the map and out there, so that other people in the world can see that we even exist, that there are so many people that are curious and enthusiastic to speak about this subject more. So right now there's about roughly 100 people on there already who just couldn't wait, you could say. And every time I see map and right, yes, woohoo, I'm on. And a lot of other people already are there. And it's just so beautiful to see all the little stars. You will create a little pin with your profile. You can choose, the degree of curiosity, in a sense, that you're in, so that you can also find people that are around and about on the same wavelength as yourself. And the idea is really that you meet up. So if possible, you meet up. How cool is it that you will finally be able to see if somebody in your own neighborhood has the same interests as you do when it comes to UFOs, ETs. And it really doesn't matter whether you're coming from a more spiritual point of view, or from the more, technical or, governmental, political point of view, maybe. Because I really feel that... in order for us to move forward on this subject, we need all of these puzzle pieces. Nobody really has a full picture yet of what's actually going on. And if somebody says they do, maybe
run for the hills.
Run. Because nobody really does have the full picture just yet. We need each other for that. And like you said, Reuben, when we stand together hand in hand and we show the world the massive amount of people that have this interest and are open to talk about it, maybe governments and NASA and all of that, they may actually, follow that for a change and free up some more information that they've been holding back.
It's like any movement in history from rights for blacks and indigenous to women's rights to anything. We've always gone through these periods in time where the people have said, this is just not right, and I'm going to make a stance, and we're sort of seeing that now with the pharmaceutical industry and what's going on with the COVID case. There's a lot of people making a stance and saying, no, something's not right here. This is not the paradigm I want to be in. And when it comes to the UFO ET subject matter, we've had as well a really well funded disinformation program or programs in secrecy within government to keep the pot stirred, so to say, so people really don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But what's happening now is enough of us are having these experiences and we're voicing our opinions, or I shouldn't say our opinion, well, part of it's opinion, but we're voicing our experiences, we're voicing our opinions about what these experiences mean and how they're affecting us individually and collectively. So just like with all the other movements in the past, Black Lives Matter, women's rights, everything, it's now we're getting to the point where we need each other to stand up and say, we're not alone in this universe. We have cosmic brothers and sisters, and I'm going to make a stance for that. And I think with the Starseed connecting website that you've created, it's allowing people to ease into that. To in the past, it's kind of like whack-a-mole, where the mole comes up and you have to hit it down. Like that's sort of been. If you talk about this stuff, the ET subject matter or free energy or spiritual stuff, that it's like whack it down so society doesn't see or hear you. But now, enough come up at the same time, and it's like okay, the whack-a-mole world out there loses, and the groundhogs come up and rule the world, right? So here we are. We're coming up, and they can't knock us down. The more we stand.
Absolutely, I believe that too. So again, I'm so curious where this will be in a few months from now. I can't wait. So everybody is invited to if you feel inspired in any way, shape or form, to put yourself on the map, to, in a sense, disclose yourself, because I've seen so many silent starseeds, as I call them by now, that have been hiding behind the scenes for so long, doing their own private research, but discovering the most amazing things, having the most incredible ideas, but not stepping forward with them. Please, you guys, come out of your closets. Let's join hands and meet each other on the starseedhub.com, because it's going to be so much fun. And that's the idea. It's about play. It's about opening up. It's a whole paradigm shift. The idea of disclosure may very well be the biggest shift for mankind in our history, basically, when we start embracing this.
Yeah, it was definitely my red pill. for me, I was on Jimmy Church last night talking about it's the UFO, having that experience and seeing that was sort of my gateway drug into shifting my paradigm and experiencing and seeing the world through a different lens. That's allowed me to just live a much richer life and have so many cool experiences and meet great people, and it's really been an eye-opening experience. Yeah, it is. So. Yeah, and for me it's a little different story maybe because I was very young when I had these first interactions and I didn't know what it was. But I felt really lonely in that too. Like, I'm so happy right now that we have the internet and that people will have a much different opportunity to reach out and to find information on this, because there's so much more out here now. And oh man, I'm just so grateful that I can contribute to that in my own way. It's kind of like, in a crazy way, it's kind of like I'm making up for what I missed in my own childhood. Like, that's my driving engine. Like, I know what that loneliness felt like, and if I can give to anybody what I was missing back then, it's my honor, my pleasure, my joy to do that. So this website is not pushing any type of agenda or teaching. It's not selling a product or a session with anyone. It's not about that. It's just about meeting. It's a neutral hub. It's like the Switzerland is for banking. right. But it's hub, for Starseed and UFO interested people. And when it comes to this paradigm shift, I think also people are, those that are willing to do a little bit of digging and to do a little bit of research will also discover things like, for instance, international speaker Mary Rodwell, who's also an amazing person in the field, collecting data on hundreds of thousands of people worldwide that have had similar experiences. So we're not looking at isolated cases anymore. This is a human phenomena that we're all inviting each other to look at, really. And only by speaking about it and sharing this topic in open dialogue, also people who are fearful about it can relax into it a little bit. Because as long as we keep all of these closets closed, the fear will remain. Right, because people don't when you see the documented evidence, and this is why the citizen hearing for me was such an important thing. I think most people fear the unknown, and when the more familiar you can make something and show tangible evidence of this reality and how it has already been a part of our reality for so long, with ETs interacting with the military and our SAC nuke bases and individuals giving spiritual wisdom and downloads. And the more you look at the evidence, the more you, like Mary Rodwell is done really well with working with Edgar Mitchell's team and interviewing, I think, millions or close to 1 million people they've documented and of having these experiences. And when you look at the actual documentation, 90% or something of that nature, 80 to 90% of the experiences themselves have been positive. So the evidence is showing, and the evidence states, when you look at it, that it's a very positive experience to connect to our star brothers and sisters. And the only real fear is really the unknown and not knowing what's out there, and not and certain people having these experiences without any sort of reference points, or just imagining, ETs, like that's a scary thought, beings from another reality coming into our reality. That can be a scary thought if you don't have any reference points. But the more we create the conversations, the more we go on Starseed Hub and we share the information, the more evidence, the more resources people have to shepherd in open arms, opening our hearts to this paradigm that has already existed, but it's just had to remain in the shadows because there's been so much shadow work to do here on this planet. And now that we're coming out of the shadows, so to say, with this COVID experience and with all the things that we're doing on the planet, what a better time to let those shadows fall to the wayside and for us to focus on the new paradigm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh wow, that's such a wonderful way to wrap this up. Right now, as we are in that little vacuum in space and time, right now, this is the moment. This is the moment where inventors have time to dive into their little shed and make the new energy inventions. People are having the discussion. They're doing research on the internet that they previously never had time for. We're launching this project for anyone who is interested, and hope it goes entirely viral in a positive way. I'm almost shy to say the word viral after all of this. With COVID, but
I think when we look back at this whole COVID thing, we are going to be very appreciative of this experience, and I don't think viral will have a negative connotation at all.
No. No, you're right. No, it's allowing us worldwide to look at how we have created life to look like, and there was a lot of room for expansion there, and it appears as if a lot of people are realizing that now and putting the pedal to the metal. It's really, really exciting. This is one of the things that we're going to contribute, and for anyone who feels excited to jump on there, please go check it out, put yourself on the map, and see you on the starseedhub.com. Thank you so much, Reuben, for your time.
Awesome. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing how this all develops. Very cool.
Yeah, me too. Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
DoD is releasing the videos in order to clear up any misconceptions by the public on whether or not the footage that has been circulating was real. Harry Reid, former senator of Nevada, home to the infamous Area 51, tweeting, "I'm glad the Pentagon is finally releasing this footage, but it only scratches the surface of research and materials available." But the DoD not offering much more info, saying the aerial phenomena observed in the videos remains characterized as unidentified.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.